The term quantum teleportation may sound like the stuff of science fiction, but as we'll talk about in today's episode of Qiskit in the Classroom, it's a very real and very useful technique for quantum communication and networking. Welcome to Qiskit in the Classroom. In the series, we'll use Qiskit to explore some fundamental concepts commonly covered in quantum computing-related courses. Each video is accompanied by an interactive module linked in the description below, so be sure to check it out. Teleportation is kind of a science fiction and fantasy trope at this point. A person or object disappears from one location and instantaneously appears somewhere else. As cool as this would be, unfortunately, this kind of teleportation, at least, is impossible. It would break the cosmic speed limit. Nothing can travel faster than light. But quantum teleportation is possible. In quantum teleportation, information rather than matter can be transmitted between two distant locations. All you need is a pair of entangled particles, one at each site, and a way to communicate classical information between the two sites. This protocol was developed in 1993 by a team of quantum scientists, including IBM's Charles Bennett. They called it quantum teleportation because, similar to the science fiction version, the quantum information disappeared from one location and appeared in another distant location without ever traveling through the intervening space. It may sound like magic, but as we'll see, there's nothing mysterious or magic about it. It's enabled by the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, along with classical communication. Today, we're going to walk through the quantum teleportation protocol and how it works, and then we'll put it into action on a real quantum computer to teleport the state of a qubit from one side of an IBM quantum processor to another. So here's how quantum teleportation works. Suppose we have two people, Alice and Bob, who are separated by a large distance. Say Alice has a qubit we'll call qubit Q, just for convenience, and it's in some unknown quantum state, psi sub q, where alpha 0 and alpha 1 are complex numbers. Alice wants to send her state to Bob, but she has no way to actually send the qubit itself. It could be that he's too far away, or maybe she doesn't even know exactly where Bob is, so she doesn't know where to send it. Luckily, the friends already share a pair of entangled qubits, A and B, where Alice has qubit A and Bob has qubit B. And these qubits are entangled. By entangled, I mean that even though the two qubits are separated by a large distance, their states are correlated in a way that classical physics cannot account for. This entangled pair is something called an E-bit, which we can use as a resource in quantum computing and communication. In this case, Alice can use the E-bit as a resource to transmit her quantum information to Bob. To see how, let's start by writing out the joint state of all three of these qubits, where I've ordered the qubits somewhat arbitrarily at this point, but this ordering will be convenient when we run our experiment on Qiskit. In Qiskit, the standard way to order the qubits is right to left, so the state of qubit 0 will appear on the right. Let's expand the state a little bit and rewrite it like this. Then, the first step in our teleportation protocol is for Alice to entangle her data qubit with her half of the E-bit qubit using a C0 gate. A C0, or controlled NOT gate, will change the state of one qubit, the target qubit, depending on the state of another qubit, the control qubit. If the control qubit is in the state 0, then nothing happens to the target. And if the control qubit's in the state 1, then the target qubit is flipped. So in this case, Alice's data qubit Q will be the control qubit, and her E-bit qubit A will be the target qubit. So the first two terms didn't change at all by the C0, but the last two terms did, because the control qubit Q was in the state 1. Then Alice would apply a Hadamard gate to her data qubit Q, which takes the state 0 to the state 1 over root 2, 0 plus 1, and the state 1 to 1 over root 2, 0 minus 1. I'm going to skip some simple algebra here, which you can try to fill in on your own if you want, but after rearranging some terms, you'll get a state that looks like this. So now Alice and Bob's 3-qubit entangled state looks like a complete mess. But look what happens if Alice measures both her qubits. The 3-qubit state will partially collapse to one of these 4 terms. And in each case, Bob will be left with a superposition state with amplitudes that are related to Alice's initial unknown state. Remember, the amplitudes are alpha 0 and alpha 1. So for example, if Alice measures both qubits to be 0, then Bob's state will collapse to this term, the original unknown state that Alice wanted to teleport. But if Alice measures 0 on qubit A and 1 on qubit Q, then Bob's state will be this one. This state can be transformed into the original state of qubit Q if Bob applies a Z gate, which will flip this sign here. But Bob won't know to do this until he learns what Alice has measured. So the next step in the protocol is for Alice to call up Bob and tell him what her 2 measurements were. After he knows that, he'll know what operations to perform on his qubit to make it match Alice's original state. Here's a table of the 4 possible measurements and the 4 possible operations that Bob will need to perform on his qubit based on those measurements. Bob might need to perform a Z gate, an X gate, or both to transform his qubit to match Alice's original qubit. This last step, where Alice calls Bob, by the way, is why quantum teleportation doesn't violate causality. Even though Bob's state instantly collapsed when Alice measured her qubits, Bob couldn't get any information out of that state until Alice told Bob what she measured, and that call was limited by the speed of light. We just went through a lot of detailed math, so the incredible fact that we just teleported quantum information may have gotten lost, but is really pretty amazing. By using entanglement as a resource, Alice could make a measurement to destroy quantum information stored with her and have it appear in another distant location with Bob. This distance could be hundreds, even thousands of kilometers. Even more amazingly, this protocol doesn't even require that Alice know exactly where Bob is. As long as they share an E-bit and they can classically communicate with one another, quantum teleportation will work. Now let's see how this works with Qiskit and actually teleport a quantum state on a quantum computer. We'll start with 3 qubits, 1 each for the data qubit Q and the qubits A and B that will make up the E-bit. We start by creating the E-bit. We apply a Hadamard on qubit A, followed by a C0 between A and B to create the entangled state we're after. Then we prepare Alice's qubit, Q, in a random quantum state by applying a random unitary, shown by this box labeled U. Then comes the teleportation. First, the C0 between qubits Q and A, then the Hadamard on qubit Q. Then the measurements partially collapse the state so that only Bob's qubit, B, is in a superposition. This is the point at which Alice would call Bob up and tell him what she measured. Then Bob would apply some gates depending on those measurements. These red outlined boxes signify conditional gates. The first one means that Bob applies an X gate to his qubit if qubit A is measured to be 1. And the second means he'll apply a Z gate also if qubit Q is measured to be 1. So now Bob should have a qubit in the same state that Alice's qubit was in at this point here, after the unitary gate. If all went according to plan, then we have teleported the quantum state. But how do we check that? We can run this same circuit, but make one small change. Here we've added another unitary at the very end of the circuit applied to Bob's qubit. This unitary is the inverse of the one we applied at the beginning to Alice's qubit. The reasoning here is that if this first gate created the quantum state that is now teleported to Bob's qubit, then this one should undo it, taking Bob's qubit back to the 0 state. But of course, this undoes all of our hard work of teleporting the state in the first place. So we wouldn't want to do this if we actually wanted to do something with the teleported state. And if it were truly in an unknown quantum state, we wouldn't be able to apply a unitary to undo it anyway. This is purely for diagnostic purposes, to make sure that teleportation was successful. If we measure Bob's qubit to be in the 0 state, then we can be reasonably sure that teleportation worked. Once we're sure that our protocol is working as expected, then we could remove this final unitary and actually do something with the teleported state. But for now, let's just make sure it works. Let's execute the circuit on a quantum computer. We can use the Qiskit primitive sampler to run this circuit many times and gather statistics on the measurement outcomes. If we perfectly teleported Alice's state to Bob every time, then Bob would measure his qubit to be 0 every time. But with environmental noise and imperfections in the gates, we can expect to see some runs where Bob's qubit ends up being 1. But as long as the majority of the time Bob's qubit is measured to be 0, we can call it a success. Here we have a histogram of the measurement outcomes of all 3 qubits. Bob's measurement is shown to be the first slot of each 3-bit string. As expected, the 4 outcomes that correspond to his bit being 0 are much more likely than the other 4. So we have successfully teleported a quantum state. But look how far we teleported. This is a map of all the qubits on the quantum processor that we used, and in the experiment, we used just these 3 qubits. Alice's qubit was here, and Bob's qubit was here. So they were almost right next to each other. We could have achieved the same thing by just applying a couple swap gates, which, as the name suggests, just swaps the quantum states of 2 neighboring qubits. Quantum teleportation is useful for transporting quantum information long distances, and quantum states have been teleported hundreds of kilometers before. For our experiments here, we're limited by the size of the chip, but we could make the teleportation a little more impressive by teleporting a state between 2 distant qubits on our quantum computer. So let's try that. Here's our new circuit diagram. It looks a bit more complicated, but nothing has fundamentally changed, except that now Alice and Bob create their shared EBIT, then separate. This series of lines and X's represent swap gates, which move Alice and Bob's states from one qubit to another. Alice moves up to qubit 1, and Bob moves down to qubit 12. Then Alice creates her random state on qubit 0 with this unitary. Keep in mind that she's making the state after she and Bob have already separated, so Bob is already far from her. Then the teleportation protocol continues as before, and Bob ends up with Alice's original state after his conditional operations. We apply the inverse unitary gate and then check that Bob's qubit is in the state 0. And again, we see that the majority of the time, Bob's qubit was found to be in the 0 state. So teleportation was successful. The success rate isn't quite as high as when Alice and Bob were next to each other, though. All of those swap gates can be expensive and cause the EBIT to degrade a bit. Quantum teleportation might seem like magic, but as we've seen, all it takes is entanglement, a classical communication channel, and some cleverness. The original 1993 proposal that we've covered in this video formed the foundation for other protocols, such as quantum gate teleportation, and is an essential ingredient for quantum computation and communications. On the experimental front, scientists have continued to push the boundaries of quantum teleportation, even managing to teleport the quantum state of a photon between a lab on Earth and a satellite 1,400 kilometers above it, and to teleport quantum states through a noisy classical internet cable. If you want to teleport your own quantum state, head over to the Quantum Teleportation module linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.